There is a car sitting in someone's driveway right now with a fault code its owner has no idea about, a warning that would cost hundreds at a dealership to diagnose. Readable in 30 seconds with a $20 Bluetooth device from Amazon. There is a person trying to hold a conversation across a language barrier, fumbling with a translation app. Losing the thread when earbuds in their pocket could have dissolved that wall entirely. And somewhere, a robot vacuum is navigating around the same pair of socks it's been avoiding for 3 weeks, when the device at number 1 on this list would have simply reached out, grabbed them, and kept going. Amazon lists millions of products. The ones with genuine AI built into them, the ones that actually change how you live, tend to get buried under sponsored listings and generic bestsellers. This video fixes that. 20 AI-powered gadgets on Amazon US right now. Some are hidden gems most people have never heard of. Some are category leaders that deserve far more attention than they get. All of them feel like they arrived slightly ahead of schedule. Links to every product are in the description below. Prices on Amazon shift constantly, so everything mentioned here is a ballpark. Always check the current listing. Stay until the end because the final gadgets are in a class of their own. Number 20. The OBD2 Bluetooth Scanner. Every car built after 1996 has a port under the dashboard that stores diagnostic codes every time something goes wrong. Mechanics plug into this port. So can you, for around $20 to $80. The AI-assisted apps paired with these scanners translate raw error codes into plain language, explain the likely cause, flag whether it's urgent, and estimate what a fair repair should cost. That last part alone has saved people hundreds in unnecessary dealer visits. It won't win a design award, but for any driver who has ever sat in a waiting room being quoted a number they couldn't verify, this is the most immediately useful thing on this list. What comes next is less practical and far more surprising. Number 19. The Wearable AI Translation Earbuds. Standing in front of someone who speaks a different language really needing to communicate is one of those moments where technology has historically failed at the worst time. Wearable's AI Translation Earbuds solve that problem at around $100 to $200. Real-time two-way translation, both directions before the other person finishes their sentence. For travelers, multilingual workplaces, or anyone who wants to connect across a language barrier without holding a phone between them, these deliver. Translation earbuds appear twice more on this list because the technology keeps getting more capable. But even at this entry price, the usefulness is immediate. Number 18 never stops listening, and it organizes everything it hears. Number 18. The Soundcore Work AI Voice Recorder. Every meeting produces useful information. Almost none of it survives intact. The Soundcore Work AI Voice Recorder captures audio, separates speakers, and converts conversation to clean, searchable text automatically. It identifies action items and structures output you can actually integrate into a work process, not just a wall of transcript that sits in a folder. The gap between this and a standard voice memo app is the difference between a record of sound and a record of what was actually said and decided. At roughly $100 to $200. It's one of the most accessible productivity tools on this entire list. Number 17 is smaller, stranger, and considerably harder to categorize. Number 17, the AB Pocket Pet Wearable Robot. Not every gadget is trying to make you more productive. AB asked a different question. What if a companion could fit in your pocket? It's a handheld robot with AI personality modeling, facial recognition, and sensors that detect how it's being held and handled. Its moods shift based on interaction, and those moods carry between sessions. It remembers how it was treated. For children, elderly individuals living alone, or anyone genuinely curious about what AI companionship feels like in a physical form. AB is an honest answer to that question. At about $100 to $200, it occupies a product category that barely existed a few years ago, and the technology behind it points towards something much larger in how humans and AI share physical space. Number 16 gives solo video creators what used to require a full camera crew. Number 16. The Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. The problem for solo creators has always been simple. When you're in front of the camera, nobody's behind it. The Insta360 Flow 2 Pro is an AI tracking phone gimbal that solves that permanently. Lock it onto a subject, and it follows panning, tilting, stabilizing, keeping whoever you're filming centered and smooth through complex movement. At around $159 to $180, it's one of the highest value tools for content creation at this price point. Number 15 takes AI home automation seriously in a way most thermostats never have. Number 15. The Google Nest Learning Thermostat. Within 2 weeks, most people stop adjusting it manually. It just knows. The Nest observes your schedule when you wake, leave, return, sleep, and builds a predictive model of your household. Within days, it's anticipating rather than reacting, pulling weather forecasts to precondition your home before the temperature outside shifts. At around $249 to $279, the energy savings it generates can eventually pay for itself. The uncanny moment is arriving home unexpectedly and finding the temperature already exactly right. You didn't say anything, it inferred it. Number 14 captures the world around you at a professional level in something the size of a TV remote. Number 14, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, a 1-inch sensor, 4K at 120 frames per second, a 3-axis mechanical gimbal built directly into the body, AI subject tracking that keeps faces and bodies perfectly framed through running, turning, and sudden direction changes. The Osmo Pocket 3, at around $449, produces footage that used to require equipment that weighed kilograms and cost 10 times more. For travel filmmakers, vloggers, or anyone who needs broadcast quality output without a crew or a camera bag, nothing else in this form factor competes. Number 13 records what happens in every room of your home with a level of attention that never wavers. Number 13, the Furbo Mini 360 Pet Camera. Your pet's day is almost entirely invisible to you. A fixed camera captures maybe 20% of what happens while you're gone. The Furbo Mini 360 uses AI tracking to follow your pet, continuously panning and tilting in real time wherever they move. Its behavioral analysis distinguishes routine activity from genuine distress, so it only alerts you when something actually matters. The remote treat dispenser crosses from useful into genuinely affecting the moment you're across the country and can interrupt your dog's anxiety from your phone. At around $150 to $200, it quickly stops feeling like a gadget. It becomes the part of you that stayed home. Number 12 brings AI awareness to the most central screen in your household. Number 12, the Amazon Echo Show 21. 21 inches changes what a smart display can do. The Echo Show 21 uses visual ID to recognize different family members and personalize what it surfaces for each person. The speaker array fills a room with sound no device in this category has previously delivered. At around $400, the ambient intelligence layer is what makes it feel different from a large tablet on a counter. It notices who walks in, adjusts based on who you are and what time it is, and manages your entire connected home from a single surface. Number 11 shrinks that ambient awareness to something you wear on your finger. Number 11, the Ringcon Gen 2 Air Smart Ring. It looks like a plain metal band. Inside, medical-grade sensors measure heart rate variability, blood oxygen, respiratory rate, skin temperature, and sleep stages continuously around the clock. The AI builds your personal physiological baseline and monitors for deviations linked to illness onset or cardiovascular stress, sometimes surfacing warning signs before any symptoms appear. At roughly $199 to $299, health monitoring this sophisticated used to require a clinical setting. Now it sits on your finger during meetings, workouts, and sleep, always watching, always learning. Number 10 takes the translation capability from number 19 and elevates it to a level built for professional use. Number 10, the Time Kettle W4 Pro. At around $300 and up, the W4 Pro is the serious version of what translation earbuds can be. 40 languages, low enough latency that conversations flow naturally, an offline mode covering 20 languages with no internet connection functioning in exactly the remote locations where translation matters most. Both speakers can wear earbuds and talk at a normal pace, each hearing the other in their own language as sentences unfold. The gap between this and budget translation earbuds is audible within the first conversation. And the gap between this and number 3 on this list, which operates at a professional interpreter level, is one of the most striking jumps in the entire video. Number 9 records your spoken life and turns it into a permanent, searchable archive automatically. Number 9, the Plaud Notepin S. The Plaud Notepin S clips to clothing, sits on a lapel, or rests on a desk. It captures every word spoken near it, separates speakers automatically, timestamps key moments, and delivers a structured summary with action items by the time the meeting ends. No screen, no buttons to press during use. It simply listens, understands, and organizes invisibly, continuously without effort. For executives, consultants, journalists, or students, the shift is immediate. Within a week, going back to manual note-taking feels like going back to paper maps. The friction of information loss in professional life becomes something you are no longer willing to accept once you've seen the alternative. At roughly $160 to $200, this is one of the highest return purchases on the entire list. Number 8 does something similar, but for the user who needs their handwritten notes and audio permanently linked together. Number 8. The iFlytek A-Note 2 e-ink tablet. The A-Note 2 records audio, transcribes speech in real time, and syncs every handwritten note you make with the exact moment in the audio it was written. Draw a diagram, and the device connects it to the conversation happening around it. Write a keyword in the margin, and the AI cross-references it across the entire transcript. The e-ink display removes screen fatigue and distraction without sacrificing searchability or organization. At around $500 and up, it's priced for the professional who takes information workflow seriously, the executive, the researcher, the clinician, for whom nothing can afford to get lost. Number 7 is less about capturing the world and more about reshaping how you move through it. Number 7, the Plod Note Pro. Where the NotePen S clips on, the Plod Note Pro sits on a conference table. The core capability is the same real-time transcription, speaker separation, AI summarization, action item extraction in a form factor designed for shared rooms rather than personal wear. You place it in the center of a table at the start of a meeting. By the time the meeting ends, the structured summary is already done. No typing, no recording to review later, no information lost because someone was talking while someone else was writing. The meeting simply becomes a permanent, searchable document automatically. At roughly $160 to $200, the two Plod devices on this list solve the same problem for different environments, and both solve it better than anything else available at this price. Number 6 brings a different kind of intelligence to your desk, one that's harder to explain and immediately impossible to ignore. Number 6, the Amopit Emo AI Desk Robot. Emo is a small desk robot with a generated AI personality, not scripted responses, but real-time emotional modeling. It gets startled, it gets bored, it recognizes your face and reacts when you return to your desk. Over 1,000 expressions deployed based on context and learned preference. At around $419, nobody buys Emo because they need it. They buy it because it makes a workspace feel like somewhere that has a personality. As AI emotional modeling matures, Emo will look like an early prototype of something ubiquitous. Right now, it mostly makes people stop mid-sentence and stare. Number 5 blends into your face and changes what you know about the world around you in real time. Number 5, the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 smart glasses. They look exactly like premium Ray-Bans. The design is the point-invisible technology worn without drawing attention. Inside, a 12-megapixel camera, a microphone array, open-ear speakers, and Meta AI running continuously aware of what you're looking at and ready to answer questions about it. Identify a landmark, translate a sign, look up a product without breaking eye contact with the shelf. The AI responds in your ear privately before you've reached for your phone. What makes the experience remarkable isn't the hardware itself, it's the disappearance of friction. Most technology asks you to stop what you're doing, unlock a screen, open an app, and search for information. These glasses collapse all of those steps into a single moment of curiosity. The result feels less like using a device and more like extending your own awareness. At about $299 to $499 depending on version, these represent the most accessible entry into AI augmented perception currently available. They're not a finished product, they're a preview of how wearable intelligence is going to work for the next decade. Number 4 takes AI beyond perception and into something that changes your physical capability entirely. Number 4, the Hypershell X Pro Wearable Exoskeleton. This technology has lived in military facilities and rehabilitation centers. You can now put it on in 2 minutes and take it hiking. The Hypershell X Pro uses dual high-torque motors and AI biomechanical detection sensing when you climb and adding force, detecting descent and providing braking support automatically. It offloads significant carried weight from your body, turning a pack that would wreck your back over a long trail into something genuinely manageable. At around $1,899 and up, it's the most expensive wearable here by a wide margin. It's also the most categorically unlike anything else that exists at a consumer level. Effective, documented physical augmentation, not figuratively, but mechanically in something you wear. The larger significance isn't hiking. It's what happens when wearable robotics become practical for everyday people. Today, it's reducing fatigue on trails and long walks. Tomorrow, the same principles could support warehouse workers, older adults, delivery personnel, personnel, and anyone whose job depends on physical endurance. The technology is still early, but the direction is impossible to miss. Number 3 dissolves one of the oldest barriers in human communication at a professional level. Number 3, the Orcam Read AI Assistive Reader. For people with low vision, dyslexia, macular degeneration, or age-related visual decline, the written world demands effort most people never have to think about. Orcam Read removes that barrier. Point it at any text, a book, a prescription label, a legal document, a handwritten note, and it reads it aloud in natural, fluent voice AI. Handwriting, screens, poor lighting, angled surfaces, it handles all of them entirely on device with no internet required. At around $1,749, the frame for evaluating this isn't, is this expensive for a gadget? It's, what is it worth to move through a text-saturated world without friction or limitation? For the people it was built for, that question answers itself. What's especially impressive is that the product doesn't try to feel futuristic. It focuses entirely on solving a real problem. The best assistive technology often disappears into daily life, allowing users to concentrate on the task rather than the tool. That's exactly what Orcam achieves, transforming accessibility from a specialized feature into something that feels natural and effortless. Number 2 brings full AI autonomy to your entire home cleaning environment. Number 2, the Dream Matrix 10 Ultra Robot Vacuum and Mop. The Dream Matrix 10 Ultra vacuums and mops simultaneously, maintains a 3-dimensional map of your home, empties its own dustbin, washes its own mop pad, dries it to prevent odor, and manages itself between cleaning cycles with no input required from you. The AI allocates more attention to areas that accumulate dirt faster. It adjusts suction and water flow based on floor surface in real time. It learns your household's patterns and schedules cleaning around them. At around $1,699, what justifies the premium is the degree to which you stop thinking about floor cleaning entirely, not just the task, but the scheduling, the maintenance, the management of the machine. All of it disappears. The device earns its place on this list not by being impressive, but by becoming invisible. That's the benchmark most smart home products never reach. Many devices add convenience, but also create new responsibilities through setup, monitoring, and troubleshooting. The Matrix 10 Ultra moves in the opposite direction. Its value comes from reducing decisions, reducing interruptions, and reducing the number of moments you have to think about cleaning at all. That's genuine automation rather than assisted automation. The number 1 device on this list is not invisible. When you see what it does, it's very difficult to look away. Number 1, the Robotics Saros Z70. Every other product here is impressive within its category. This one created a new category. The Saros Z70 is a flagship AI robot vacuum and mop with LiDAR mapping, advanced obstacle avoidance, and autonomous cleaning that puts it among the most capable home robots available. At around $1,299, that alone would justify its place near the top of this list. But it has something no consumer robot has ever had before: a retractable robotic arm. When the Saros Z70 encounters a lightweight object on the floor, a sock, a cable, a toy, a scrap of paper, it doesn't reroute. It reaches out, grasps the object, moves it to a designated collection area, and continues cleaning without breaking its route. That robotic arm may sound like a small feature until you consider what it represents. For years, home robots have been limited to navigating around the world. The Saros Z70 begins interacting with it. The difference between avoiding objects and moving them is enormous. One is navigation, the other is manipulation. And manipulation is the foundation of every truly useful household robot people have imagined for decades. This is not a small engineering achievement. Reliable object manipulation, recognizing something in 3 dimensions, classifying it, deciding whether to move it, executing a calibrated grasp, relocating it without damage, and seamlessly continuing the task has been one of the hardest unsolved problems in consumer robotics for decades. The Saros Z70 does all of it autonomously in a home environment. The arm turns this from a vacuum into a different kind of machine entirely. Not one that navigates around your living space, one that physically interacts with it. The distance between picking up a sock and returning an object to its proper place is shorter than most people assume. And the distance between that and a robot that helps someone who physically cannot do those things themselves is shorter still. The Robotics Saros Z70 is the most convincing evidence currently available that home robotics has crossed a threshold it has been approaching for years. It is the kind of device that makes regular vacuuming feel not just outdated, but from a different era entirely. 20 gadgets. 20 different answers to what AI in daily life actually looks like when it stops being a promise and becomes something you can hold. Some of these save time. Some solve problems that have existed for decades. Some represent ideas so new the categories they belong to don't have proper names yet. All of them are on Amazon, available today. Which one caught your attention most? Leave it in the comments. Those answers shape what gets covered next. Every product is linked in the description below. Prices move on Amazon, so check the current listing before you decide. And if you want to stay ahead of what arrives next in this space, because the next generation is already being built, subscribe. We'll be here when it lands.